5 of my players are flagged. Panic stations at the ready. What do we do with Erling Haaland and who do we captain? Big decisions ahead of the Game Week 29 deadline on Tuesday night. This is my team selection video. Hope you guys are well. Let's have a quick look at my team before we speak about transfers and captaincy. As things stand, Raya, when I screen grabbed this on Monday afternoon, isn't flagged, but Raya even has a potential knock. That could be 6 players flagged. Let's just go through some of those flagged players. What do we know at the time of recording? Okay, so first and foremost, Raya, I think he's probably okay. The good news is most of us have the Bravka bench, not the end of the world if Raya misses out. O'Reilly, we don't know. We don't know. He rolled his ankle. He came off. He was seen mouthing to Bernardo Silva saying it's not good, but he was seen at the training ground, not for a proper training session on Sunday. Maguire should be fine. I think it was an illness. Think he'll be good. Came off 75th minute. Mukiele, we know, is out. Declan Rice, Arteta's been really coy. Doesn't sound good for him, and Arteta's not going to tell us. We're going to have to gamble on players like Rice, and we're probably going to have to gamble on Haaland. At the time of recording, my sense is that he'll probably play, but there's no guarantees there. Remember, fixtures are coming thick and fast now. A lot of these players have FA Cup, and then the likes of Haaland and Rice, Champions League as well. Don't forget that. Like, for example, Erling Haaland and Nico O'Reilly have Real Madrid on a Wednesday, Tuesday turnaround with West Ham game week 30 in between. Do we sell Erling Haaland, guys, even if we're not sure? Even if he could start versus Forest, will he start versus West Ham? Because West Ham, it's Wednesday Real Madrid, Saturday West Ham, Tuesday Real Madrid, and he's just been injured. He's probably going to miss West Ham. And then, by the way, in game week 31, he blanks. Doesn't look great, does it? So big decisions to make on Erling Haaland. We'll speak more about that later. We'll go through all of the potential moves I could make this week. Remember, I've got one free transfer. But first, let's just touch on the week just gone very quickly. I have to start every team selection with this. 83 points. I did take a 4-point hit. 79. Happy with that. 124k in the world. The target is firmly always the top 100k, but always the top 10k if it's achievable. Not sure I'll get that. I think I've got 8 top 50k finishes, so making that 9 would be quite nice. But yeah, nice to have big points from the likes of Ekatike. Kept the faith. Just like I kept the faith with Virgil and O'Reilly. Sometimes you've just got to be patient as an FPL manager. And I got jammy because I had Bruno vice captain. We don't know what Haaland would have scored, but I doubt he would have got 26 captain points. So happy with Bruno in the armband. Let me know how you got on below. But let's start with some potential guys coming in. As we can see, my flagged players, I've got to look at defensive options, I've got to look at midfield options, and I've got to look at forward options. There are various players I could bring in this game week. And again, I hope on Tuesday afternoon we get more press conference news and we get more clarity, training ground images, and all the good stuff. Who has the good fixtures? What clubs should we be looking at? Well, firstly, I'm only interested in buying players that play in 31. And I'm only interested in selling players that don't play in 31 with my chip strategy in mind, which is to dead end to 31, wildcard in 32. Fulham. There's lots of good Fulham players. West Ham, I could bench them for 30 if I needed to because my squad looks good for 30. And then Burnley at home. So I'd get West Ham at home, Burnley at home. Yeah, I like Fulham very much. Bournemouth, good fixtures. Liverpool, good fixtures there. You'd get Wolves, Tottenham, Brighton. Liverpool just scored 5 goals. Lots to think about there. Of course, we might ordinarily be looking at teams like Man City and Arsenal. They don't play in 31. We're not interested, right? So let's look at some potential players. We're going to start with Leeds. Let me go back to those Leeds fixtures. Sunderland at home, Brentford at home in 31. I'd bench them for the away fixture at Palace. But you get a home fixture versus Sunderland, a home fixture versus Brentford. And in Pascal Strike, you get a defender that's got good goal threat and he's got very good DEFCON potential. And I think at Ellen Road, Leeds are pretty good. They just showed Man City how good they were. Man City won, lost 1-0 to... Man City beat Leeds 1-0, but it was a close game. And Sunderland at home and Brentford at home, I expect Leeds to get 3 points, maybe even 4 in those 2 games. And I expect a clean sheet. Let's see if I get it. But if I'm looking for a defensive transfer, going back to my squad, if I'm selling a Maguire, probably not going to be selling Maguire or Mukiele because they do play in 31. If I'm selling an O'Reilly, going to a cheap Leeds defender, definitely an option. But as is a Fulham defender, and we know why. We've seen those Fulham fixtures, right? We like those Fulham fixtures. Home to West Ham, home to Burnley. think I rate Bassey a bit higher than Strike, if I'm honest. Bassey also has a bit of goal threat. Look at his XG, 0.29 versus Spurs. He did have a big chance. He does get some penalty area touches from Fulham set pieces. He's so big. He's so competitive for the ball. Anderson would be the best Fulham defender to go for, but he's also flagged, and it was an illness, but we don't know if he's available yet for midweek. Touch and go. So again, if I'm selling O'Reilly, could Bassey come in? Definitely an option. But elsewhere, like I look at other defenders and it's like, where else do you go? Where else do you go? Do you want a Man United defender? I've got Maguire. You're not looking at City or Arsenal. You could look at Liverpool. Maybe I could sell an O'Reilly to someone like a Konate. I'm not sure if I can I don't think I can afford that. So it's going down to one of those middling lower clubs like a Fulham or a Leeds. Let's talk midfield though, because I think the player I'm probably most likely to sell is Declan Rice, because that's the one I think they get the least clarity from. And if I'm selling Declan Rice, I've got 7.6 to spend on a midfielder. Now, Florian Wirtz, by the way, looks like he's probably out. The game tomorrow will probably come too soon, and maybe the game at the weekend. Yeah, he's out for the week. What does that mean? Well, Florian Wirtz out is a better opportunity for two key midfielders that I can afford from Declan Rice. Option number one, Declan Rice to Gakpo. Gakpo is 7.3 million. If Wirtz isn't in the team, Gakpo's nailed, right? For as long as Isak is out and Wirtz is out, Gakpo's nailed. Because when those players play, there's a chance Wirtz plays on the left. There's a chance Ekitike plays on the left and Isak's playing number 9. We haven't seen much of that. But Gakpo feels nailed as a starter. He got 90 minutes versus West Ham. He scored a goal. He doesn't get you DEFCON. He's not great in the bonus points. But if he's scoring goals, we like him. He hasn't been scoring goals, but he did versus West Ham. He didn't versus Forest, Sunderland and City, blank, blank, blank. But I like the fixtures of Wolves, Tottenham and Brighton. And it's for that reason so many are looking to use hard money on Mo Salah this week. We'll do a dedicated section on Haaland and Salah in a minute, so stay tuned. I like Cody Gakpo. I've got Ekitike already. I've got Van Dijk already, but I've got a Liverpool spot. Do we prefer Gakpo though, or do we prefer Szoboszlai? Again, if there's no Florian Wirtz, who's the number 10? We don't want Szoboszlai in our team when he's playing right back. When he's playing number 8, he's okay. He gets DEFCON in those two positions, but his goal threat is pretty low. Give him the number 10 role, his goal threat increases. He's been Liverpool's best player this season. Again, he got 4 points versus West Ham. He ticks over okay. He's got DEFCON potential. He's got all the set pieces, and we know how good they are at set pieces, Liverpool, with Van Dijk scoring goals now. I'd say Szoboszlai is a real option. How do I rank Szoboszlai versus Gakpo? Over a long period of time, I'm picking Szoboszlai all day long. All day long. For a 1 week punt, I prefer Gakpo. I think the ceiling is higher on any given game. Who's got brace potential? Gakpo. Who's going to tick over nicely for 4 pointers every game? Feels like Szoboszlai. The problem I've got is game week 31. Let's assume Wirtz is back. Is there a world in which the front four is Ekitike number 9, Wirtz on the left, Szoboszlai is the 10, Salah on the right? Because the problem is when Wirtz is back is what you do with Szoboszlai. And organically this season, it's just fallen that when Wirtz has been out, Szoboszlai, yes, he's played 10. But when they've both played together, there's often been, oh, we need to play you at right back. Oh, we need to play you number 8. So there hasn't been too much competition for the number 10 spot, or Wirtz was palmed out to the left when things weren't working out. What we haven't seen is a fully fit Liverpool squad and Szoboszlai and Wirtz both going for the 10. And in that instance, they both get in the 11. Szoboszlai plays 10 and Wirtz is palmed out to the left and Cody Gakpo drops out. And that is why Gakpo is a slight concern for me for a start versus Brighton. I think very likely, and even possibly Spurs, maybe Szoboszlai is just a smart money on that one. But goal threat, Gakpo definitely has it. Are there other midfielders around the Declan price point that I could consider? Well, yes, there is. Iliman and Dye. Again, I don't need someone for game week 30 necessarily. My benching dilemmas in 30 are off the charts. I'm just looking at 29 and I'm just looking at 31. And Iliman and Dye has a great 29. There's no better fixture this week than Burnley at home. Everton have that. And Dye has penalties. He has 90-minute appeal. He's often the talisman. And then Chelsea at home is all right. Like they give you chances, Chelsea. I do like Ndye as an option. He's 6.2 million at 4% owned. I could definitely look at and die. I just question the ceiling for Everton. Even against teams like Burnley, I never feel like they're going to score many. They have just gone and scored 3 versus Newcastle, though, and I don't want to forget that. Don't want to forget that at all. We need to talk Mo Salah, and as part of that discussion, let's talk Erling Haaland. Before we do, thank you for scanning the QR code and clicking the link in the description. So many of you join my Patreon. I've got it on free at the moment, guys. So I'm doing loads of articles, loads of videos. YouTube members get the videos too, but they pay for that. On Patreon at the moment, it's free. Check it out. Link in the description or scan the QR code. And make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe button as well, guys. Mo Salah. The only reason people are talking Salah is because they've got Haaland money coming in, possibly. Is Haaland a sell, first and foremost? I think he's a hold because I think he still gets minutes versus West Ham and Forest. If we know he's ruled out, clearly he's a sell. If we go into the game week doubtful, if you've got 2 free transfers, probably a sell. If you've got 1, keep him. He doesn't play in 31. And if you're wildcarding in 32, you can be bailed out. You do, however, have money in Haaland, and he should still get some minutes versus West Ham, although I don't expect him to get 90 wedged between those 2 Real Madrid games. In fact, you might only get 30 or none. I completely understand. But there's a chance he starts versus Forest, and if he does, he's arguably this week's best captaincy option. Mo Salah, it hasn't been Liverpool's Mo Salah for a very long time. I can't remember the last goal for Mo Salah in the Premier League. I think I did this the other day. I think it's something like game week 10. Honestly, Mo Salah hasn't scored in the Premier League, I'm looking now, since game week 10. That's abysmal. Guys, go after Ekitike. If you don't own Ekitike and you're buying Salah, readjust. Ekitike feels like a must-have this week. He's absolutely the one you go for. Ekitike is flying at the minute. I know he's had plenty of blanks, but he's also had a 13 and a 15-pointer. He looks really good. He's passing the eye test. Salah's not doing that. Liverpool just scored 5 goals. Salah had no involvement in those goals. Ekitike had 3 involvements in those goals. That's where your priority goes. I personally don't like the Salah love, and I'm seeing people saying they're going to bring him in to captain him. Don't captain Mo Salah this week would be my strong advice. Let's get back to other options then. Part of that Salah combination for many is to get Dominic Calvert-Lewin in. It's Haaland to Calvert-Lewin, one of their midfielders up to Salah, Rice, whoever. And Calvert-Lewin in his own right is a good option, given the fixtures. Forget 30, you'd bench him. But just like Pascal Strike, game week 29 home to Sunderland, game week 31 home to Brentford, I do like Calvert-Lewin in these fixtures. And if I'm looking for a Haaland replacement for 2 games only, honestly, when you go through the fixture ticker, it's so tight. Like, where do you go? The fixture's just a rubbish right now for forwards. Like, go through the forwards. Raul Jimenez. Well, he only plays 60 minutes. Muniz is back. Muniz could even start versus West Ham. Calvert-Lewin's 90-minute man. Crystal Palace, Strand Larsen doesn't play in 31. Bournemouth, Evan Nilsson's just got injured. Burnley forwards, no thanks. Liverpool forward, Ekitike we own. Newcastle forwards, Visser. Woltemade playing deep as a midfielder. Visser in and out the team, often injured. Leeds, Sunderland and Brentford. Like, that's where you look. Villa, Watkins, no thanks. Brentford, Igor Thiago, you should own him. Sunderland, Robbie's injured. Everton, it's between Beto and Barry every time. Sesko's someone we could look at. You won't get 90, but Sesko's looking sharp. Newcastle were linked with him in the past. The narrative is there. Newcastle, Villa, Bournemouth, no FA Cup, no Champions League. Don't mind the Sesko punt, if I'm honest. He's looking really good, Sesko. He got his start and he got his goal. Surely he starts versus Newcastle. But Newcastle at St James's, they're often quite good. Gyökeres doesn't play in 31. Richarlison, no thank you. It is slim pickings. João Pedro, tough fixtures. Tough fixtures. Does Delap get a game in there? Slim pickings in that front line. So when I look at my squad, the most obvious replacements for me are, yeah, you make a defender transfer, but it feels like the ceiling's quite low there. For me, it's probably Declan Rice. Declan Rice doesn't play in 31. Yes, he could play in 29 and get points. He does have a way of getting your points, Declan Rice, with all those extras and the set pieces. Brighton, Everton, 2 okay fixtures, but not amazing. Declan Rice, I think, is the most likely I'd sell. But as things stand before a transfer, if all these players are fit, I'm not making a transfer. I'm happy with O'Reilly and Rice in my 11. I've got Maguire and Rodgers on the bench if I need. I'll be playing Anton Stack. in midfield versus Sunderland. I'll be playing Rayan versus Brentford. I think they're still good for starts, those two. Both playing very attacking. Both recently bought in. Both blanked. Bought them in blanked, but I'm quite happy with them for this game week. So as things stand, guys, it'll be Rodgers benched. And if one of them's injured, Rodgers comes in. Or possibly even Maguire. Maybe I don't need to make a transfer. But I do like the option of Rice to a Liverpool mid or Rice to Ndiaye. And I think that's my most likely route. Let's see what Tuesday brings. I will talk captaincy in a minute, so stay tuned. Genuinely, guys, thank you for liking and subscribing and commenting. I'll respond to all comments. My plan on Tuesday is to react live to the press conference of Pep and Arteta in what will be an early deadline stream. So I think the deadline is, when's the deadline? I think UK time it's 6 o'clock. There's 7:30 kickoffs Tuesday night. So I'll be going live probably 2 till 4 on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. And I'll answer as many questions live, but I'd also lock in my decisions on that show. And I sense it might be Declan Rice out to Gakpo, Szoboszlai and Ndiaye. If Haaland's ruled out, it'll be Haaland out. As things stand, I'm on Haaland captaincy. Some won't like it because they'll go into the game week saying, what if Haaland comes off the bench for 15 minutes and gets a 1-pointer? I would like to think if Haaland's fit, he starts. And I tweeted this at the weekend. When we all got the Haaland rumours, I tweeted straight away to say, I don't think he'll be benched, guys. Haaland's either playing or he's out. You're not going to get a 1-point cameo. Against Forest, you could argue he needs some rhythm. But I would like to think if he's fit enough to start. As things stand, with a home fixture, I have to back Erling Haaland. I feel like Forest looking quite open at the minute, losing games. They lost to Fenerbahce and Brighton in succession last week. They go to the Etihad. That is the toughest away day in the Premier League. Ekitike is a real option, though. A real option. I've put Ekitike on the thumb because I'm calling Ekitike with the next 3 games in mind pretty much a must-have. Get Ekitike in your teams as soon as possible, guys. And then Bruno Fernandes. United can play badly and Bruno can still go and get 13 points. If that wasn't a red card for Lacroix, but if he's not sent off, Palace are winning 1-0. They maybe get a 1-1 draw United, but Bruno doesn't go and get 13 points if that red card's not given. He gets the penalty and then he gets the assist for the second goal, 3 bonus points. He's an awesome asset with all the routes to points. So at the moment, is Haaland if fit? And if he's not, it's a coin toss between Bruno and Ekitike. Again, I will lock in on Tuesday. Come by and watch my deadline stream. Guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you very soon.